And we are live.
Oh,
Howdy, surprise.
hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I was still rocking out to that intro music.
No, it's okay. So welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. I am one half of the Tabletop Express, and I'm Ryan, and I'm joined by no stranger to the channel,
No,
but our first solo video together. This is exciting.
that's a good point. I
There's
did
a
not think of that.
crazy thunderstorm going on right now.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sure it has something to do with us doing our first together video.
If one of us disappears, you know what happened because
Yeah.
my power went out for a few seconds earlier,
Yeah, I
and
have full blown windows over here, so I'm just watching it like
oh
unfold.
yeah, you have an epic room there. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I'm just watching it like ugh.
It is cool to watch.
It is cool. But and we see Chris is in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, good,
So
good.
he's afraid of
You
what this
should be.
is.
You should
He
be
should
afraid.
be afraid. So those of you don't know, if you're the first time to the channel, Tabletop Express, I almost called this Tabletop Simulator. Tabletop Express is a channel we run. We talk board games. And Chris is the main guy, pretty much. He's the one that
He's the
started this channel,
the first conductor.
the first conductor, and he's sick this week. Just has bad voice going on, and that's killer, especially for this sort of thing. You
Mhm.
need a voice for talking about board games and stuff,
It's
and you
pretty
need a
integral. Yes.
voice. You need a voice for playing board games too, right? So today's topic that we are discussing is a very special one that we probably won't be repeating ever again unless you get sick more, Chris. I guess. Don't get sick more, please, because today's topic is 5 games to play with Barrows when he's feeling better.
Oh, that's the list. Oh, crap.
Oh, oh, you have the other topic.
Yeah.
Whoops.
No big deal.
Oh, no
There we
worries,
go.
no worries. So yeah, Chris will feel better, and when he does, these are the games that we would love to play with him. How'd you decide? How'd you pick your list together?
Well, I did a little bit of snooping at
Hmm.
his collection on Board Game Geek. I asked you a couple things. I looked at my own collection, so it's a pretty much a mix of games that I know he hasn't played, games that he owns that I haven't played,
Hmm.
and just a couple things that I think would be good for post feeling sick.
Okay.
How about
I,
you?
I've I there's these games I pretty much know that I want to play with him.
Hmm.
Some of them are games that he owns
Okay.
and he's been wanting to show me. Others games that I own that I want to show him, and who knows, there might be some more surprises. And also, I completely forgot what I put on my list, so this is going to be interesting.
Nice.
No, I have some idea. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I know the order. But you're going up first, so why don't you preface your number 5?
All right, so my number 5 is the the shadiest pick on my list because it's not a specific game, and it's also
Okay.
kind of like a joke, but it's not. I would play these games with Chris. It's Tiny Epic Ultra something or other Pocket Edition of things.
Ultra tiny epic really small something pocket
There
edition.
you go. That's
Okay.
the one. Yeah.
Sure, I guess so.
So there's lots of skins of this game. I don't know which ones he owns. I know he probably owns the pirate one because he loves pirates. So I guess
Yeah.
we could play that one. I used to own the first version of this game, which was Tiny Epic Kingdoms, and I liked it. It was very early in my gaming like hobby of me being in the hobby, and the few people that I was playing games with at the time, it didn't really click with them, and so it
Yeah.
kind of never got played again. And then it was one of those things where you have to have kind of at least 3 people to really make it work, and it just never got played. So I ended up selling it, but I didn't dislike it. So that was a long time ago. Give it all these different themes now, and they come with like little things you can put in the meeples, and there's weapons and things like that. I would give any one of these a go for sure.
Which if you had to pick one, which one would you go for?
Well, if I was
Pirates?
it would definitely be Pirates if I was playing with Barrows for
Yeah.
sure. If I was in a mindset to like maybe purchase another one of these, I would probably check out the Western one. I don't really have any good Western themed games.
Oh, oh,
Well, I have Bang the Dice game.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I do like that one for sure. I haven't played any of these. But wait, what are you writing down?
Huh? Bang the Dice game.
Oh, I was like, what did I?
I'm
um,
updating my file on you, Ryan.
I see that. That's what I thought immediately. But yeah, I've yet to ever play any of the tiny epics or ultra tiny epics. I would like to try them. I see Brian Chandler is chiming in about them. He said he's enjoyed Tiny Epic Galaxies the most. He just got
Okay.
Dungeon and would enjoy playing that with Chris. Um,
I
you
think
know,
I've heard the most love
I
for Galaxies overall.
I hear the one everyone wants to avoid is the Mechs one. I think that's the one everyone wants to avoid. So
Yeah, that really kind of fizzled. I don't really remember a lot about that, but
and
the
Barrows is saying Pirates is neat, but Zombies is fantastic.
okay, cool. We'll do zombies then. We'll do zombies.
Zombies are cool. I'm
We
down for
really
zombies.
need to schedule a like a Halloween event where we play all these Halloween games that we talk about all the time.
That'd be cool.
Sorry, tangent.
Are they gonna do a Tiny Epic Day? Tiny Epic Tuesdays.
That I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, I think that would that would get old pretty quickly.
I think so too. Back
Yeah.
back in my early gaming, I don't know, what do we call it? It's not a career because it's not a job. What do you call it when you've been doing something as a hobby for a long time?
A pastime.
There you go. Sure.
I don't know.
Munchkin was all the rage among me and the friends and I that we play with, and I was trying to push for an all Munchkin day because we had all these different themes of Munchkin. I look back and now and I think about what an awful idea that
I've
probably
been
would have
there.
been.
I've been there. I was there with zombies with the exclamations. Zombies! Three exclamations. Yeah.
A hobby, yes, it is a hobby.
Yeah. Clarifying, it is a hobby. And we got Tiny Epic Galaxies, one of the first games I played solo. Oh. Daniel likes solo games. I like solo games. We should play. All right. I'm gonna
do not play solo anymore.
I do play solo, but this one I'm gonna play 2-player because this is my number 5 to play with Barrows. It is a 2-player only game. It's something light that for a while I've been wanting to play with Barrows, and I'm almost certain we never played it. I feel like we might have, but I don't have it recorded on BG Stats. So my number 5 is Air, Land, comma, and Sea, the Oxford comma. Air, Land, and Sea is a very small card game. It is 18 cards in the entire deck. And the way to win is to get the most points. You get the first player to 12 points wins. And what goes on is on your turn, you're either going to be playing a card from your hand and you're going to be putting in one of the 3 theaters, land, sea, air in this case, right? You put it either face up, a matching color in that theater, or face down. And it doesn't have to be matching.
Okay.
At the end of a round, the scores are determined by who has the highest value within each theater. The best 2 out of 3 wins. Okay. So yeah, I showed this to Squirrel, and this was a really fun one with him. I remember playing with him for sure. I believe we played outside. But anyways, with Air, Land, and Sea, it's incredibly simple rule set. And it's got kind of like a Knizia battle line, shot and Totten vibe to it.
Okay, yeah.
But it goes right to the battles because I feel like I like battle line and shot and Totten. I think Reiner Knizia is a great designer. But with this game, what's going to go on is you're either going to be playing the card or you're going to be choosing to pass. And the sooner you pass and forfeit the round, that's you give your opponent less points. So if I choose to pass early in the game, I'm going to give you 2 points. And the longer I stall, the more points I would give you. And eventually, if none of us stall, whoever wins that round gets 6 points. And it's the first player to 12 wins. So you might have a crap hand because you're dealt 6 cards. I'm dealt 6 cards. And there's 6 cards in the deck. All cards range from 1 through 6 of each 3 color. And you kind of have to like outthink your opponent until like maybe I do have these this combo because the smaller value cards give you special benefits, like in terms of like adjacency, and the higher point value cards are just straight up 6 points.
Okay.
It's such a solid tug of war game. I think you would like this too, actually, Anthony.
This
It,
sounds good. I mean, I like Battle Line. I haven't played it in a long time, but
yeah,
when you started describing this, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that Blitzkrieg game. Have you played that game?
yeah. I've heard a lot of comparisons with Blitzkrieg. That's
Yeah.
World War II in 20 minutes, right? That
Yep.
one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I've heard comparisons with that. I haven't played it yet. Um, but man, this game, it does such a great job. There's a revised edition now that's more colorblind friendly. Yeah,
Ah,
because this
nice.
first edition wasn't very colorblind friendly at all. Um, and yeah, and there is one with fuzzy creatures that Ryan's pointing out. There's like one with like it's like a cutesy air land and sea with like anamorph anthropomorphic characters and stuff.
All right.
Whatever. Whatever. But hey, this is a great one. You got two players, great couples game for sure. Like that
Yeah.
Lost Cities kind of vibe. It's
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
got.
No,
Anyways,
I can feel the tenseness of it already just from your
yeah. I'm
description.
not saying Barrows and I are a couple, by the way. I'm just saying it could be a great couples game. Barrows, you're a great guy. Don't
Critters
worry.
at War, Squirrel
Critters at
says.
War. Yeah, that's the name of it. Critters at War. I knew it was something silly.
Hmm,
But anyways, that's my number 5. Air,
cool.
land, and sea.
All right. My number 4 is pretty random of a pick. It's a game that oh, Chris is
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Chris.
Listen, man. If
This
we
is
gotta
how
get
rumors
views,
start.
if we gotta get views, gotta do what we can. You know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I already did the
Oh my
clickbait photo
word.
for this
That's
video.
right. That's
Go
right.
go ahead.
We had a good time with that too. So my number 4 is definitely very, very silly fun. It has a short play time, which is clutch, and it's got a little bit of a old school video game type of feel to it.
Mhm.
This one's called Looney Quest. So this is takes place in the universe of Arcadia, and I believe there's also an Arcadia Quest game that I think has some similarities to this. But this game is more of a perceptive drawing game.
Mm.
So there'll be this board set up just like it is in the box, and you're going to sit on one side of this with a transparency that you're going to draw on with a marker. What you're trying to do is try to draw your path on this board that everybody's looking at, but from your perspective. And you're trying to start from this specified starting area, maybe gather a couple of these, starry looking treasure things, avoid this obstacle, and get back to this point.
Mm.
And you have, I forget how long to do this, a few seconds. And then when everyone's done, person by person, you put your transparency on the top of the thing and you see where your path goes. Did you touch that bomb that you weren't supposed to touch? You lose points for that. Did you get this, treasure, get this key first, and then draw to this thing? And that's the whole game, and it's really fun. Every board is a little bit different. There's actually levels like there's like world like 1, 2 and world 1, 3 and dash and like Super Mario kind of stuff
Yeah.
that all have these different types of quests, and some of them are just a straight up, one spot to the other. Some is like an out and back, trying to come back to the same spot. It's always fun to put, look at other people's picture when they put it down and see how far off they were. But it's a really good, like, it's a good connection. Sorry, connection with like how you perceive space to what you're actually drawing in front of you. It can be very interesting.
It looks
That's
really, really silly
Looney
fun,
Quest.
which is
It's
good.
very silly, and you could play through like every level if you want, or you can play like 2 boards and move on to something else. So there's a lot of flexibility. Also,
And that's in that same line as Slide Quest too, right? Like
I
that kind of game.
believe so. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Barros is saying if this is a game on Anthony's shelf, then it's one that I've seen and wanted to play based on the box alone. Yeah, it does look
Yeah,
pretty cool.
you get to the point that it's going to be a crazy kind of silly thing here. So, oh, and a little thing I might add. you can tell in the picture, kind of like the top left of the box, your scoring marker goes around the board like that, around the
Yeah.
box rather. So you stick it in each spot, you can see the score on the outside. Good little touch. I've taught this to a lot of younger folks, and it's really gone over well. So Looney Quest, I know Chris would love it.
How old?
How old did kids that I taught this
Yeah.
to? Probably like 7 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
I
would.
think it would. I don't know what the box says age wise, but I mean, look, this is a game that if you're going to play with someone at any age range, like if there's going to be kids and adults and older people, it's almost like everybody's on the same playing field, right? Because this is
Yeah.
like, you either can do it really well or you can't. It doesn't really matter how old
It
you
looks
are, to
like
be
it's one of
honest.
those like funny like telestrations kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're just
exactly,
playing for the
exactly.
fun of it, and yeah, nice. I'll have to try this out.
Yeah, it's a good time.
All right, my number 4. I completely forgot what it was, so we'll find out together right now. Who's
The big
ready?
reveal.
Oh yeah, this is the big one.
The
Okay,
cheat.
I cheated for this one. I cheated for this one because I threw in 2 games because we've been trying to plan this for a while now.
Uh,
He's been trying to get me to play Empires of the North for a very long time. He loves Empires of the North. It's a tableau card builder. And when he was describing it, and I was looking up things about it, I really got an Imperium Classics Legends vibe from it. And I want to play both of these. I adore Imperium Classics Legends. I think it's a solid deck building, civilization builder kind of game. Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North sounds very similar in vein. Um, and they probably played completely different.
hmm.
But I get that vibe that they would gel together. So I want to play both of these. I know Barrows has been. There's even one day where he had his whole basement set up and he was going to do it, but then I think my son ended up not feeling well that day and stuff.
Mm.
Or I got sick. One of us on my side of the family got sick. Um, but we do need to play this. It's on my shelf of shame. I've had it for a little bit.
Oh, okay. There you
You
go. So that's
know,
a double whammy right
it's
there.
a double whammy. But Imperium Classics and Legends is my favorite game of last year, and I think Barrows, I think you're gonna like this one a lot. It's got that nice deck build feel. It's got that nice tableau builder thing going on. It does go a little long,
Hmm.
but after a couple more plays, it gets better. And solo mode, it's pretty solid because it's a David Turtsey design. Because he's like on every solo mode on the planet. And yeah, that's my number 4, the cheating one, Imperium Classics Legends, which technically it's 3 games because I put Imperium Classics and Imperium Legends, and then Pipe, Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North. Man, there's so many
Wow. Wow.
like
Just
that's a
put
mouthful.
asterisks everywhere.
I might as well just say the designers. There's Nigel Buckle, David Turtsey, Joanna Kinjaka, Ignacy Trevicich. I'm just gonna mess up everything. All right. Anyways, that's my number 4. Barrows will play it. All right, we're on to number 3 now.
The number three. I think if Chris was feeling okay as soon as I mentioned this game, he'd be like, come over right now. We'll play it.
Okay.
This is a game that I have heard only good things about, and I really would like to try it. And that is Marvel Champions. I know
What?
Chris. I know. I know. I know.
Tell me
Never
more.
played it. I've never played it. I know I'll
Well,
love it. I
I'm
know I'll
not
love it.
shaming. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like that's exciting actually.
I know, I know. So, my buddy Eric, who's on the channel with me over at Board
Yeah.
Game Dads all the time, he has this game as well, and I haven't played it with him either. So I feel like it's kind of a race to who's gonna get it to the table in front of me first. I guess what kind of stopped us maybe once or twice when I was with Eric rather, it's a longer game versus like a few shorter games
Yeah.
overall. And when like time is precious, you want to try to make the most out of it and get through like a lot of games. But I would certainly sit down and play this game for sure.
It's a really fun one. And it's very welcoming to new players for sure. Out of all like of those like Fantasy Flight LCG games, it's
Hmm.
very welcoming, very straightforward. You don't feel like you're a superhero at all. You feel like you're doing math. So if you like doing math, it's great. I like
Mm.
doing math, so I have a great time with it. And the superhero thing gets tied on top of it. I don't really
Well, I
play for the
mean,
team. I like for the combos.
gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I look. There's if you're a fan of it at all of the comics, and there's going to be someone in here that you're going to want to play for
Yeah,
sure. So I think it reaches a wide audience in that aspect. And I know they're constantly coming out with new stuff for this, right?
they are. They just announced Spider Ham,
Right, right. Which was like kind of an April Fool's joke, but
a
not really. Like,
real. Yeah, they do that. Last year it was either last year or 2 years ago, they announced for Arkham Horror they were gonna do a dog version called Barkham Horror. And it was a joke, but people were serious about doing it and they did it.
oh man,
And
that's
then Brian,
awesome.
by the way, is mentioning, has anyone played Arkham Horror, Lord of the Rings, and this one? So I've played Arkham Horror and this one. I haven't done Lord of the Rings, but they're both very good. They both have different itches. I actually just played Arkham Horror, the card game, this past weekend, and man, it's such a fun experience. Both games are so solid in their own
Mm.
regards. If you want a full campaign, you're going in, you're leveling up kind of thing, get Arkham Horror, the card game. If you want quicker jump in single session, do Marvel Champions. And if you
Aren't
like
there
Lord of the Rings, I guess Lord of
aren't
the
there
Rings.
campaigns for Marvel Champions too?
There are campaigns, but they're not as involved
Okay.
as the Arkham ones are. The Arkham
What?
ones are have like they actually have like parts of the cards are a map, and you get to actually move a
Oh.
token around the board and stuff, and do all sorts of things. And you level up, and there's like all sorts of XP that you can actually get better cards. This doesn't have that as much. It does
Mm.
have that campaign vibe, but it's more like they can just be played as one-off scenarios. It's
Now, which
still very fun. Don't get me
which
wrong.
one do you like better solo?
Solo, this one. It's quicker.
Mm.
It's quicker. I get in and out. Um, and but I don't know. It's tough to say. For a long time, I was an Arkham Horror, the card game fan. Then I was
Mhm.
a Marvel Champions fan. But then this past weekend was really such a good game. It was such a good game of it. So I don't know. Now I'm like back on the fence. And the Netrunner's pretty good too of the LCGs, but that's out of
I
print.
mean, I could see in playing this, especially if you play it for the first time and you like it, you're gonna want to play with other characters, right? So that's
Yeah,
that's the draw for sure. So I could,
right.
in a way, I think because Chris and Eric both own it, I don't know that I need to own it, and I think
No,
I'll save a lot of money by not owning it.
yeah. I own it too.
There you go. So
So
okay,
yeah,
seals the
you're
deal.
good. You're good.
Nice. So, yep, that's number three. Convert me. Bring me over.
Yeah.
Marvel Champions.
Well, my number three is a game that Barrows just recently got, as in maybe like a couple weeks ago. Um, and with this game, it was a reprint of an older game, and I've been wanting to try the older game for a while, but now it's the deluxe look. Well, not deluxe, but it's the nicer production, nicer artwork edition, second edition, Paolo Mori design, and that is Libertalia
Hmm.
Winds of Gale Crest. So now we're in Pirate World, and this is actually spoilers. This is the only pirate game I have of yours, Chris, on this list.
Hmm.
Don't expect the other pirate game that you have to be on this list. Not saying I don't want to play it. I'm just there's only five I could pick. So Libertalia Winds of Gale Crest. This is kind of like it feels kind of like a gamer's party game. That's why I wanted to try it. It's kind of got a Citadel's vibe a
Hmm.
little bit, but not. It's not Citadel's. Because you're trying to like you're trying to hope that your character card will come out, and you can kind of like it feels more of a party at 5 or 6. But here's the thing: I actually heard really well done things about the two-player mode. They
Okay.
did a really good. There's apparently a really good job with the two-player mode, and that it's a bit more deterministic, so you can actually really have a bit more of a strategy and kind of figure out what's going to come out versus kind of like this is what comes out, and this is more of a
Right.
party vibe.
Right, right,
So
right, right.
I do like that they tried that out. I
Hmm.
want to try it at both counts, at the higher player count and the lower player count. There's a solo mode of this, doing the autonomous stuff, but
Hmm.
I, I haven't, I like solo gaming. The autonomous stuff I haven't had a good track record with before.
Okay.
Um, but but going back to this Libertalia, Chris, we'll play it. I'm down for having a big group. I'm down for having just two. No worries. I'm down for trying Libertalia Winds of Gale Crest. Has anyone? Have you tried it? Is this a game that you're interested in?
I would play this. I played the original version, and I do
Okay,
enjoy it. So I would definitely be interested in seeing what the new implementation has to offer. It looks really cool.
it does look cool, and there's a stock photo from Stonemaier Games. I'm sure
Hmm.
it looks really good in person too. You know. So yeah, that's my number three. All
I'm
right.
on board. All right, so on to the juices here. We're sticking in the water.
Uh
This is a game that, Chris has his Marvel stuff and you got your Ghostbuster stuff. And this is like my favorite movie
oh.
of all time, and that's Jaws. So this
What?
is Jaws, the movie in a box. First movie, obviously.
Yeah, the
Um,
others don't count.
no, they do not count. And this is just it's a one versus many game, which I don't always love because I feel like in those games, a lot of times the person who has played the game the most kind of has to be the one because it's different rules and it might be a little harder to play and whatnot. But in this game, it's really not that big of a deal to be either the shark or one of the three crew members. You can play two people, and one person just controls all three crew members. That works out well too. But this, like I said, is really I think did a really great job of capturing the movie in the box. It actually takes place over two different acts. So these two photos here that I snatched off the BGG because I was too lazy to take my own shows the first act up there on the top is Amity Island, where the shark is basically trying to eat as many swimmers as possible, and you as the crew are trying to not have that happen.
Yeah.
But essentially, when a certain threshold is reached, I forget how many X amount of swimmers that the shark eats, it triggers the move over to the other side of the board, which is just on the orca on the ship itself. Where now, as the shark, you're trying to destroy the ship or eat all three crew members. I feel like the game is balanced because Act One almost always seems to go more the shark's way, and act two, it's a lot harder for the shark to win that part because in act two, the crew now has like all these weapons and stuff, and you have some abilities too as the shark, but it's not easy. It's not easy, but man, is it fun. Simple rule set, and again, the components are pretty simple, but they look really nice. There's little wooden boats and little meeples that go in there, and Brody has his own spot and stuff like that. And the character cards are that nice, like kind of minimalistic kind of artwork. So it's not like a screen grab or anything like that. Works really well. I know Chris would like this game. I would play it at any player count, and that is Jaws from Prospero Hall.
So I need to talk now. I don't know if you know this about me. My second favorite movie is Jaws.
Ah,
My second, for real. I'm turning my basement into like a Jaws bar and everything.
really?
Yeah, a little
Oh
bit.
man.
Yeah, I know it's fun. For my 30th, we went to Martha's Vineyard to do Jaws film location tours. I love Jaws.
That's awesome.
And I was, I love Ghostbusters as my number one. And when the board game came out, I was, I was hoping it would be good, and I really disliked it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping with Jaws that, I was hoping it'd be good, and I bought it when it came out at Target,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. I love this game. This game is dumb fun. This game is Jaws in a box.
Yeah.
You know, it does have that first half and that second half because Jaws is like two movies, right?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
terror on the island, and then it's like three guys getting a big fish.
Yep.
It's such a oh man, and it captures that so well, you know. And the threshold, by the way, I remember it's either the shark ends up eating like 15 swimmers,
Yeah, it's a lot.
or or the shark gets 3 barrels put on him.
Right.
That's what
Right.
it
Right.
is.
Right.
If
Right.
Bruce
Right.
gets
Right.
3 barrels put on him, then you flip over to the next act. And the further you are down that line, the more powerful the shark is, and the less powerful the bad guys are. But you're absolutely right. I've
Right.
yet to ever play where the shark wins. I've yet,
Wins the game. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't. I don't know that
I've
I have either.
I've never seen that. And yeah, I mean, when I played it, I actually last time I played it, it was 2 player with Ryan Clements, and yeah, I shot him in the face, and it was great. But as in like the shark, like the game, and it was a blast. Like but I felt bad saying "smile, you son of a," because clearly,
But you have to say it. You
there was
have to say
no
it.
yeah, but there was no way he could get out of this. I feel like if you're in this, it's kind of like it's kind of got that Fury of Dracula vibe and all those,
Mhm.
like you're playing a little bit as the game master, but I don't know. When it comes into the shark mode, it's really tough for the shark to
There's a
ever
lot.
win.
There's a lot more luck involved in
Yeah,
the shark in Act Two for the shark. Which again, I mean, you know, I didn't know that you liked the movie so much, but we
I
could
do.
do, we could do obviously more analyzing about that. But they really did capture a lot of the movie in this
Yeah,
game. Like it makes sense. It makes thematic sense.
yeah.
That everyone does what they do, and that the beaches are located here, and that it's harder for the shark, later on. And it just, I don't know.
And
It's
the swimmers are the swimmers from the movie.
yeah,
They got
exactly.
they got the big lady. They got Pippet. They got oh man, it's so good. They got Alex Kinter.
Yeah, yeah. This is great.
Yeah,
Really, really, really happy with this, and such an affordable game too.
yeah. I always see it on sale, but it
It's
was like
great.
$30 retail. Even that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
You
yeah, for
know.
sure.
I remember when I bought it too. I brought it to a convention, and I was just, I brought a bunch of board games to the convention, and the guy that was coming by to play a game with me, he's like, "Let's just try Jaws." I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And we were both like kind of surprised how fun it was, and we switched roles after. Like, then
Okay.
I was
Oh, nice.
I was the shark at first, and he became the shark, and but humans got that. They got it on lock. So yeah.
There you
Anyways,
go, Chris. Yeah, yeah, pair it
what was
with the
that?
movie. So watch the movie and then play the game.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're not doing Jaws: The Revenge, the board game, then, right? No, no
No,
Mario Van Peebles.
no.
No, okay. I forget his name. It was
I hope they
Jake.
don't.
His character's name was Jake.
I
It
don't even
was.
remember. I
It
hope they don't
was.
make a game for that. That would be really bad.
I'll play it. Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, my number two is a game that I've already played with Barrows.
Oh, okay.
Played it
So cheating
once.
again.
Well, look, it's
No,
what
I
we
guess
want to play.
technically, yeah. All right.
We played it once, and we played it right from the suggested starting deck of the rule book, but this is a game that has tons of cards. Barrows, you know exactly what this is. That's Radlance. Radlance is a 2-player card game where you are trying to knock out your opponent's camps. So the cards on the very bottom of these rows are the players' camps, and you're trying to knock out your opponent's camps. The first person to lose all their camps loses. And it's kind of got like I've described it before as like it has an Android Netrunner feel in that uh, if you played Android Netrunner, you are essentially corporation versus corporation in this one, as opposed to Netrunner, which is corporation versus runner. But anyways, going back to it, you put down your camp, and in front of the camp cards, you put player like person cards, and they're effectively just your meat puppets that are in front of you trying to protect your camp. But you could tap them to like activate special powers. And all the cards, the face downside is like that pink with the person silhouette with the eyes,
Hmm.
and you could always put a card face down, and that would be just like a one person meat puppet. Um, it's a really quick game too. It's a really quick game with tons of options. But what I love, and I love this about a lot of board games, if it's got a small box but with a big punch, I'm all for that.
Mm.
This game, $25. Box is like this size, and it's got so much variety inside. There's tons of different kinds of cards you could play.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
And you're all sharing from the same deck too, which is actually really cool.
Hmm.
So it's not like you construct your own deck. There's a central deck you're just drawing cards from, and you're playing the cards. And when you play the cards, you could either play it in front of you, you could discard it to get some benefit. Um, and yeah, this game just delivers. The setting is cool. I'm all for Mad Max kind of settings, you know.
So that this is a generic theme, right? This is not like
Yeah,
an IP or anything. Okay.
it's not an IP, you know. I like to think of it as like Mad Max meets Bruce Springsteen because Badlands and Radlance. But
Mm.
anyways, yeah, I know. Don't worry. We talked about this before. It's fine. Um, but Radlands, I do like it a lot. We should play it, Barrows. I'm ready. Feel better. I'm ready. We could play it
Yeah.
behind like plexiglass. I'm cool with that.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think he has the plague.
No, he doesn't. But I gotta do what I gotta do. You know, that's my number two. Radlands.
Rad. All right.
Radlands.
Number one was easy for me to pick. I think this was the first game I wrote down when I was making the list. And you asked me earlier how I made the list. I I knew that. So Chris and I and Eric did a couple of videos about pirate games, about
Mm-hmm.
pirate board games. And I went back and watched them, and I knew there was one or two that he said that he hadn't played. And this was the one, and this is Jamaica.
Ooh.
So Jamaica is, and this is a new version, by the way, which I own the older one. I don't think anything changed besides a little bit of the artwork. The gameplay I think is the same, but essentially it is a race around the island of Jamaica. But along the race in these different spaces, you're going to be either going to a port, which is going to cost you some money, so you want to get some gold, or if you're going to be out to sea for a turn, you're going to need to feed your crew, so you got to have some food.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's some like secret pirate treasury areas where you can find some secret stuff. But if you ever share space with another pirate ship, you're going to do battle, and that's where your cannon or gunpowder rather comes into play. So you're going to be collecting these different goods, putting them in your little compartments in your ship. But if you ever get something and you don't have room for it, you've got to remove something from one of the spots, with the caveat being it can't be the same thing. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't go to a spot and get four food and change the spot in your ship that has two food. It's got to be something else. So there's a little bit of resource management kind of going on in the game too, which is neat. But essentially, you're trying to get the most gold. So doubloons, most points wins the game. It is a race. You don't have to finish first to win the game, but at the finish line, you will get the most points. And then a few spaces back, the points kind of decrease in value.
Hmm.
At a certain point, I think you might lose points after a certain threshold. I
Oh,
forget.
geez.
It's either zero or it might be negative. But the battling is a lot of fun. You get to say, I'm gonna use like 10 gunpowder. So you roll this die and add 10 to whatever it is, and you could bust. You could get an automatic win. You could steal treasure from other people if you win in battle. You could take something from their ship. And the way that the selection works on what you're doing is pretty unique, actually. So the cards in your hand have two symbols, an upper left and upper right, and they're
Yeah.
either arrows to move backwards or forwards, the gold, the food, or the gunpowder. And basically, the active player rolls two dice and decides which die is going to be the morning action and which one will be the evening action. And so you set those up. Let's say it was a two and a five. Now everybody looks at their cards and say, all right, what do I want to do two of and what do I want to do five of? And that's the card that you play. So you might move forward two and take five gold, or you might get to food and move forward five or something like that. There's a lot of moving around the board, which makes for some fun back and forth battles and things like that. This one really is a blast, and if you ever want to play it, I think everybody would enjoy it. It's a very welcoming game as well. Jamaica, have you played this?
I have not. I've always
Okay,
seen it.
so we should
Uh,
all
yeah.
play.
Yeah, this game does look pretty wild. I've always heard about it, and like I know it's been on my want to playlist for a very long time
Okay, okay.
because this is an older game. Yeah, 2007.
Yeah, this was one of the first games in my collection as well. And I think the Dice Tower guys talked about it all the time. That was how I first heard about it.
That's what I heard about too. I think
And
Sam was
then
really into it.
yeah, yeah. And then I got it, and Eric has it as well. And we actually were able to play this game remotely with each other because we both had the game.
What?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. As long as you're, being vocal about where your ship is on the board, so everybody's has the right setup in front of them. It actually works really well.
I have to try this out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely always wanted to play Jamaica. You know.
Oh, can you pull up Ryan's comment? I want to see what he says something
Oh,
about the new rules actually. Definitely a revamp of a few rules. In the OG, there was an issue with go back until you reach. Right, right.
hmm,
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, I didn't know they changed that. That's awesome. If you were ever like to a spot that you couldn't afford, you got
yeah.
to go back until you could afford something. So sometimes you can keep going back and back and back and really get screwed. So
Oh,
that's cool. I wonder, Squirrel, can you just play that rule with the old game? Probably, right?
with the new game, you mean, right? Oh, you mean with the old
No,
game?
like with
Yeah,
my
I
copy,
see.
can I just say that that doesn't happen anymore?
That's a good point. You
Or let
probably
me know.
could if that's what is it? Just like you lose a coin or something instead of going back too
It's like you
far.
have to go back to whatever you could
Yeah,
afford. So if you
right.
go back to a spot that costs like 3 gold and you only have two, you can't do that. So go back to another one that costs 4 food. Can't
Yeah,
afford that either. Try the next one back.
yeah. He
Yeah,
says
I'll
he's
have to
sure
try it
he
out.
could. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it out.
All right. My number one. So Barrows is guessing my number one is Agricola, but it's not because we're playing a lot of Agricola online, and I would love to show you in person for sure. But I'm having fun online. You know, it's good. This is a game that you can't play online for now, at least. Well, I guess you could, and technically anything's really playable on Tabletop Simulator. Um, but this is a game that has knocked the shoes off of me because I'm wearing socks, so I can't say the socks line. Um, but yeah, so Shoeless Me is playing this game, loving this game. I keep harping about this game. I need another person to play this game with me because it's fun. It's quick. So this is what I like about this game that I'm going to talk about that has shot that's been just exploding all over my table, and that is Vagrant Song. So Vagrant Song is a wild time. The first scenario is just kind of like to get the rules. So how the game works is you're on this ghost train and you're effectively going to different ghosts on the train. There's different ghost boss on the train, and you're kind of just trying to restore its humanity by singing it to it, all the way down to like punching it in the face. You need to punch it back to humanity, and when you do that, the ghost is rescued, and you're all trying to do that without you becoming haunted yourself and go and turning into a ghost yourself, kind of thing. Um, but this kind of has that Gloomhaven kind of vibe of of very like you go in and it's a campaign driven game, but it's what I like about it is that the scenario design, and that's what I love about Gloomhaven too. The scenario design of both of these games is out of this world. I'm finding. Each scenario plays completely different, but all with the same base rules of like how you move, how you attack, how you do things.
Mhm.
But the ghosts all have different ways you're gonna knock them out. It's a game that could have potential spoilers, but they're not really tremendous spoilers.
Mhm.
It's a campaign game that I could play again It's
Okay.
more like a video game in that regard. Um, and a lot of these games, like even Gloomhaven, the theme I'm not really all about. This though, it just grabs me, I guess, because of the whole ghost vibe and the train vibe. Because I like train games and I like Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah, I feel like some old timey music should be
Yeah.
playing
Well,
during this.
actually, so that's what I do. Every time I play, even solo, I put on like this playlist of like Django Reinhardt, like
There you go. There you go.
and I put on sound effects of a train going on and of a thunderstorm happening. And
Nice.
oh man, the aesthetic. This game is just like oozing with theme. And the rules are so simple. All you're doing is you're just choosing what actions you want to do and then performing them. And then some of them are just dice rolls. And you have to beat a certain threshold. Um, and then the ghost goes, and then they do their thing. But how they do their thing is they pull these chits from this bag, and depending on what chit it pulls out, it'll carry out a different action. And that chit stays out on the board. And that bag of chits is also your item bag. So when you like rummage for
Mm.
items, you're grabbing from that as well. So those items now go into your inventory, and you could use those items. But when you use those items, they go on to that cycle track that's over there that has like the 2 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. Um, and what happens is whenever that threshold is reached of that particular type, a certain bad effect happens, and all those chits go back in the bag. So it
Hmm.
it's all about trade offs, and there is a fair amount of luck too, because it's a dice chucking dungeon crawl. I have been dying to do, yeah, not only a teach, but I want to do a live playthrough of this game. This game has wowed me so much, and I just want to play it. I want to play it. And Barrows, I
You're
think
gonna play it right now, aren't you?
I'm gonna play it right now. Actually, it's right over. It look. I recently re-ranked these. Right, these are my favorite games. It's right here. Vagrant Song's
Uh,
right here. It's pretty high up, already top shelf. You know, right next to Rococo, also pretty good. So if I like Rococo a lot though too. Um, so anyways, Vagrant Song, Barrows, you gotta play it. Squirrel, I already played one game of it with you. We can keep on going. I know we want to keep on going for sure. And that's a great thing too. It's a campaign that you could play multiple campaigns of.
so if you played the next game with Squirrel, it would
Yeah.
be different than the game that you played with Chris.
Right, because I would start a new campaign with Chris.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. So
But
it's
that's
not.
still as much fun for you either way.
Yeah,
That's
it
cool.
is because the scenario design is just so wacky. Um, I really want to give a spoiler, but it's all right. It's all right.
No,
I won't.
no.
I won't. I won't. I won't. But let's just say it's such the it's simple dungeon crawl, but how the ghosts work, how they function, it's borderline hilarious for some of the things they do.
Well, if you do a live play this year, you're gonna spoil it live
We're
anyway.
we're gonna spoil it for sure,
All
but it's
right,
only
all
the
right.
first scenario. It's not really a huge spoiler that one, you know.
So how many scenarios are in the box?
So there's 30 scenarios in the box.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
Yeah. There's 30. Well, I mean, like Gloomhaven has like what, 101 or something.
Well, yeah, but
Something
that's
ridiculous. That's
yeah.
right. But um there's no minis. They're all like that acrylic painted standee, so it's got that really cool 2D vibe.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it's kind of like Betty Boop meets Arkham Horror. It's got that. It has that aesthetic for sure. Um, and yeah, it just works out incredibly well.
I
So
would definitely give this a shot for sure.
you should play it. It's a very fun, and it's also a good intro dungeon crawly kind of thing.
Okay.
The rules aren't tough. The toughest thing about it is the monster AI, but even then, that's not too bad. And the rulebook itself is not that great.
Mm.
Hence why rules video. I'm just saying. And yeah, Scroll, you're right. There's 30 scenarios with the same map board. Yeah, and they are in completely different ways because there's tons of different rule sets per board. There's terrain pieces that could even change up the make and feel of the board itself. I want to play this right now. It's a good game.
I think after we're done, you're probably going to play.
I'm probably going to play it. It'll be my 8th play of Vagrant Song, and I think I've had this game for like less than a month now.
You're officially a vagrant.
I am. I am officially. Yeah, there's 6 vagrants too, and they all work differently. And there's one guy that has got like a banjo and like a harmonica headpiece.
Nice.
There's one person that has like a dog that follows them. It's
Is there the sack on a stick?
There is no sack on the stick, but the bag you pull out looks like the checkered sack on the stick.
Okay.
So
nice.
It's got that. So you got to bring your own stick.
Hey.
So look, we order Chinese, and we just get some chopsticks. We got it.
There you go. I'm down.
Yeah. All right, that's my number 1 Vagrant Song.
Love it.
Yeah. But this was fun. Barrows, you should feel better.
I think by now we probably cured you just by our, banter and gentle voices. I think you're probably good.
Oh yeah. No doubt. That's pretty sure what the doctor orders. I told him this is like Patch Adams, right?
There you go.
We'll cure him with good vibes. Oh yeah, and of course, if you have a game you want to play with Barrows, like Brian Chandler, for example, he wants to play Targi with Chris Barrows, because I think Barrows is still doing that challenge of like, was it 100 games of Targi this year? Was it 100? Was it 102?
That's his challenge.
I feel like that was not one of the yeah. Well, he's not agreeing with me, but I'm pretty sure it's 100. But
anything that didn't make your top 5? You have any honorable mentions that just fell short?
Yeah, I do. Look, Chris Barrows is right. 100 games of. I would love to play the Targi expansion with him for sure.
Yeah, I haven't tried that either.
He said I would really love that one. Ryan Clement's saying he wants to play Meadow with Barrows. Yeah, Meadow I heard good things about. I keep seeing it too. I really want to play Cosmic Frog with Barrows. But that's not just with Barrows. That's
you just want to infect as many people as possible with that game.
Rightly so. I think Barrows, you would like Cosmic Frog for sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it's every game, right? You just want to play games.
Yeah,
I mean, it's everything. But from one of the earliest games that Chris had told me about from when we first started hanging out was Clans of Caledonia. So I know he likes that a lot. And then I had Raiders of the North Sea, because I know that's
we're supposed to play that. Well,
Mm.
we're supposed to play that on a Change Your Mind.
Aha! On your mind?
Yeah, I really don't like that game.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you can be part of that session.
Maybe.
Because I really did not like that game.
I
really didn't. It's really bad. Sorry, Barrows. I know you really like that game. But I do want to play War Chest with you. That's for sure. War Chest I know Barrows really likes. All right. And that's everything. So feel better, Chris. I'm gonna put on for closing us out a full list of all of our games, and if you're watching this late, put in the comments a game you may want to play with Chris, even if it is Raiders of the North Sea. Just kidding. No, Squirrel. I didn't say I didn't like Clans of Caledonia. I said Raiders of the North Sea. But I also don't like Clans of Caledonia. So.
Oh, it's on BGA. I have to get on this BGA thing.
You don't have BGA?
No. I don't have time.
Come on. It's all right. All right. Well, anyways, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Chris, you feel better? Got the rock music coming back in. I'm gonna queue up our list. Take care, everyone.